All right, so crypto market update. Obviously, Bitcoin is continuing on its trajectory. As I've mentioned before, as you can see here, when we had that correction, it actually did touch that trend line perfectly, created another V bottom, and of course, we broke out of all-time highs yet again. Just recently had a throwback to retest prior resistance as support, and I am still riding 60% of my position from here. So this is really just a lesson for everybody in trend riding and being patient, right? I mean, you could have, if you treated this market like a coin toss and all or nothing, you could have gone out all out anywhere in this market. So this is why it's important to let some of your position ride. You know, and it's not a bad idea to take some profit out as well along the way. It's just proper risk management, but definitely a good idea to let some ride for sure. Now, it's interesting is that if you look at, how much room we have till we hit 5,000, we're really only like 9% away from hitting that 5,000 mark. So it really wouldn't take much to get there. Now, I think 5,000 is likely a really big emotional area. Wouldn't surprise me if we hit a lot of resistance at that area, the 5,000 mark, and perhaps even have a bigger correction. But if we break 5,000, it also wouldn't surprise me if we created like a quick parabolic blow off acceleration. Maybe we hit the 7,000 mark. Maybe, who knows? 10,000 could even be possible. I mean, when we hit the $1,000 mark in Bitcoin, psychologically, when you think about that, the price went from triple digits to four digits, right? So if we ever did hit the 10,000 mark, and I'm not saying we're going to, but I'm saying that I'm open to that possibility, right? I also don't want to be over exuberantly bullish either, because sometimes that could be a sign of getting closer to the end. But, if we did hit that area, it would kind of hit this fib extension level right there. And if we did, my plan is, trading is kind of like creating a series of if then scenarios. My plan is if we ever do hit that area, I will definitely sell a big chunk of my Bitcoin. I'll probably take at least half of my Bitcoin and crypto portfolio and just pull out some cold hard profit out into the bank and maybe do some hedging and then trade it on the downside. So yeah, if we hit a nice round emotional 5-digit area, then that's definitely something I'll be doing. That's just proper risk management, because what we could end up seeing is if we did have this massive parabolic blow off and it did something crazy like that, then the downside would be we probably end up hitting a bear trend, and then maybe we establish, prior all-time high, support at prior all-time high resistance. Similar to how we went to $1,200 and then capitulated all the way down at 166. That's definitely possible. That would actually be really, really good for traders. Not so good for long-term investors. But, if you close out and take hard profit and sell into strength or sell in the reversal, then if you're sitting on a bunch of cash, if you're patient, you wait for that cycle to complete itself, then you could actually buy even more Bitcoin at the bottom. Now, that's obviously just a possibility, but I'm not saying that's going to happen. Obviously, if we just continue having consolidation and corrections along the way, then perhaps the trend could stay healthy. But I think we're definitely in the parabolic phase of the trend for sure. It's just a matter of like how parabolic is, how high will it go is really the question, right? And just kind of looking back to a lot of the trades right now. So obviously, like there's a lot of red on Poloniex yesterday. Now we're seeing a lot of green. Syscoin is one of the top gainers, and I think it's predominantly because of some masternodes. Any of these coins that have masternodes tend to have a bit of a rally, so you could see here it had a lot of volume. But the question is this going to actually trend, or is it just going to turn into like a dead cat bounce, right? Because you can obviously see a lot of resistance in through this area. Sometimes you get that FOMO, which lines up perfectly with a dead cat bounce, but whether or not it actually trends is a whole other story. So this is, you're having a lot of resistance here through Syscoin. But you're seeing like the same pattern kind of playing out on a lot of the Poloniex coins. We kind of saw this with Ripple and so on and so forth. You see a full retrace, where it comes down to the 78% retracement level, breakout from this descending trend line, and then a throwback that creates the first higher low. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I was interested in Zcash. See, my particular flavor and trading strategies, I want to get in down here in this area because, by the time it pops off, you can catch some nice juicy breakouts, but, then the market's up 120%, right? So you obviously got a little bit more downside risk if you're a little bit later to the game. So if I'm looking at things like Zcash, this was a market that initially we had a little bit of a fake out here. So we thought that there was an initial breakout. So I did scale in to some position there that I'm still holding, and it broke into a new low. Now, if we look at the trend line now, readjust it, we have another breakout right here. The difference is, unlike this one just flopping, now we're making a series of higher lows, right? So we already made one there. So I actually added to my position right about here as we were bouncing off of this higher low. And again, so we pulled back again, and another possible higher low. So we'll see if this market starts to get some love and ramp up. Interesting thing, like I mentioned yesterday on a fundamental level, Zcash is going to be running atomic swaps, so you'll be able to trade it decentralized against Bitcoin. Same with Litecoin, same with Viacoin, same with a lot of other coins. So that's going to be a very, very interesting feature that comes with segregated witness and Lightning networks, stuff like that. So this is, similar pattern that we just saw pop off with Syscoin, right? We kind of saw that happening a bit with Ripple as well. Not quite the same, but break of a descending trend line, and then it had a throwback and it retested, prior resistance turn support. So this could also be the first stages of a possible reversal as well. But the ultimate question, $1 million question, is, are we just going to get a major dead cat bounce on these, right? And a dead cat bounce would be like, oh, is it going to just come up to this area and then flop, like a pop and flop? Or do we have enough money and momentum in the markets to push up into new highs? I'm kind of leaning towards dead cat bounce until proven otherwise, but we shall see, right? Obviously, when the music ends on Bitcoin, then it'll probably drag everything off into a bear trend, right? So, just looking at some of the mid caps. Again, these are slow cookers, and I just want to emphasize that if you're going to play the mid cap game, the best way to manage risk on these mid caps is position sizing. So no one mid cap or altcoin trader market should break your bank. If you're sweating bullets, if you bought some cheap bat and you're sweating bullets over these smaller price fluctuations and losing sleep at night, then chances are your position size is too big. So I'm going to tell you hands down, my largest trade that I'm in right now is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is my largest trade, and I'm still riding 60% of it, and that trade is working out really, really well. So I'm up over a double on that trade, right? But that's because Bitcoin also has liquidity, and it's moving. It's got a lot of momentum right now, right? Now, if you're going to play some of these other altcoins, if you want to get in early and get in on accumulation, expect a little bit of chop and volatility until it makes a move, right? So don't go all in on any one altcoin, where if an altcoin completely flops, it's going to break the bank. So that's just good risk management for altcoins. So it's all about position sizing, right? And ultimately, you don't have to find winning trades every single day or even every week, right? You only trade your edge. You trade a particular strategy that works, and you have to be patient, right? And all you really need is one or two huge trades a month, big home run, grand slam trades a month, where you actually make a really decent amount of money. So you got to definitely kind of put greed in check. And so my home run plays for this month has been riding Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has been an amazing trade. Just looking at CFI, we kind of looked like we were going to have a breakout there, but it flopped a little bit. So again, nothing has really changed. I'm still riding my position, but I just want to show you with Bitcoin Cash, like these were some definite home run plays this month, right? And if I just get like a couple of these kind of trades a month, I'm satisfied. I'm golden. So for example, you know, it basically, this trade started off by me going heavy into Bitcoin to get my airdrop coins. That basically increased all my Bitcoin holdings by at least 20%, right? And that was a trade. That was a play. A lot of people were going heavy into altcoins, and then leading up to the airdrop, you know, a lot of altcoins bled hard, right? So it was missed timing on that. I started going into altcoins a little heavier after the airdrop. Before the airdrop, I was, you know, at least 90% in Bitcoin. So that was an automatic increase of all my Bitcoin holding 20%. Then on opening day, I bought at the 5 area. You can't really see it. I'll go on the hourly chart here. These charts get kind of messed up, but it was on Btrex. I bought down here at the 5 area and popped off a triple, stacked some limit orders, made a triple. Then it came all the way down. I did it again, and I had to be patient because it was doing a full retrace even lower than where my entry was. And I did it again. And I stacked limit orders up, starting at the 18 area, and had some, you know, close some out in the 2s. And I'm not in Bitcoin Cash anymore. I've got probably 20% of my airdrop coins that I'm just holding, just in case it does something crazy that I haven't moved yet. But for the most part, I'm not really trading this market anymore. And I banged out a couple of triples. I got increased all my holdings by 20% and then tripled my trades one after the other. Boom. And this was all for the month of August. So that was the highlight for August's trade. So definitely August, my big home run plays were Bitcoin Cash and BTC. The other ones, they're kind of slow cookers. And yes, there's some other markets that kind of popped off that I didn't catch. It's hard to catch them all when you've got hundreds of different markets. So, and some of you may have caught some of the other markets, which is good. So, just keep your eyes open for possible breakouts and also just possible accumulation plays. Again, you know, other markets that I'm in, trust, just review. A slow cooker, TRST. For all I know, I could be waiting months before this takes off, and that's the downside to trying to get in early on something, is you have to be really, really patient, right? But the upside is that if you get in on something good that takes off, you bought in at the bottom, and everyone else is chasing the market as it ramps up hundreds of %, right? So there's a pro and con to each approach and trading strategy. Anyways, so that's it for today's market update. Cheers.